Hey everybody, Tekking101 here, here to review chapter number 667 of Alright, sorry. In accordance with YouTube's new censorship policies, I'm of course not allowed to say the title of the series I'm going to be reviewing today. I also can't show you any images or even mention any of the main characters' names. Is that okay? Does that please you, you massive billion-dollar corporation that is somehow concerned about the exploits of a man-child sitting in his sunroom talking about a series with an orange ninja in it? Really? Is that okay? Anyway, the review must go on, so just to avoid confusion, I'll just have to fill in all the gaps myself. So instead of calling this series it's the Foxy Orange Ninja Delivering Lasting Errors show, or Fondle for short, starring such timeless characters such as Meg Ryan, Squall Emo Heart, Faulkner, Shirley, Bruce Lee, Ninja Jesus, Jill Sandwich, Ozzy Osbourne, and Scarecrow. And I'm sure there's some other characters in there too, but I'll just fill that in as we go. Alright, so, chapter opens up with Karen arriving on the scene just as Squall Emo Heart got taken down a couple chapters ago by Ninja Jesus, you know, kind of stabbed in the stomach, kind of fell on the ground, sort of died. But then an unknown figure showed up, and everyone was curious, like, who is this unknown figure? You know, a lot of people were questioning that it was that guy that kind of fought against Squall Emo Heart's brother a while ago. Helmet, that was his name, Helmet. Ozzy Osbourne, Mizugetsu, and Jugram all show up on the scene, and it turns out that, in fact, I was wrong in assuming that it wasn't Helmet. It was freaking Helmet. Okay, so, Helmet's on the scene now. He's back in his sage form that he was in earlier. I guess he reabsorbed the chakra from the air. I mean, I guess he can just use... Well, actually, hold on, let me check something. Just let me make sure. Yeah, hi. I'm allowed to use the term chakra, right? That's not copyrighted by... Oh, okay. Oh, it's been around for a while. Several thousand years. Okay, cool. Alright, that's just checking, Alright, activates Senjutsu Chakra again and goes back into Sage mode, and he's sitting there and he's actually, everyone's kind of curious as what he's actually doing with Squall, you know, if they're like if he's trying to take his life like he used to back when he was all, you know, evil or whatever. And it turns out that no, he's actually trying to heal him or revive him, and I guess, okay, there's no other way they could have done it. I mean, Squall was essentially dead for all intensive purposes. I mean, he got stabbed, he was bleeding out pretty profusely. I mean, that was the big dramatic thing, like, oh my god, Meg Ryan and Squall Emo Heart are gonna die at the same time. It's so dramatic, but it turns out no, Helmet's healing him, and the whole reason Karen did not sense him earlier when they were heading to the battlefield was because his chakra has just changed so radically much since when Karen used to know him. That's the reason. It was kind of a cop-out, really, in some situation, and kind of drew a lot of attention. They were heading to go see Squall, and it's just like, oh, I don't know who this is. It's some unknown person. I can't identify this chakra. And they show up on the scene. It's like, oh, no, that's that guy. We already know him. Anyway, Mizugetsu and Karen are also kind of questioning, like, okay, wait, so is he good now? I mean, he was evil, like, not even less than, like, a week ago. Is he still, you know, like this? And Ozzy Osbourne brings up the fact that thanks to being sucked in that Izanami attack that Squall's brother released on him, apparently that's the kind of messed up jutsu that really affects the way you perceive reality, because it forces you to take a second look at yourself, and unless you start viewing yourself from a different light, you're going to be trapped in this loop for all eternity, as Helmet clearly was there. I don't really know how long it took him to get out of the loop. I wish they would have went into more elaboration exactly what happened there, but nonetheless, Helmet exposits, it's like, okay, well, I figured out who I really am. I try to become other people my entire life, but now I realize that all I really am is me, and my job is to get back home to that orphanage with all my family members there. So, yeah, good for him. He also brings up a parallel between him and Jill Sandwich of how they're both kind of like looking at themselves at the moment, kind of like evaluating what their decisions are and their morals. So we cut back over to the battlefield going on. If you don't remember what happened, Meg Ryan almost died, so, you know, Jill Sandwich had to send him over to the other dimension with Shirley so they could heal up. And meanwhile, Scarecrow and Jill Sandwich were going to take on Ninja Jesus. Now, this is a very interesting fight right here, because especially since Faulkner's there too, but he really can't do much of anything, because the only way you can hurt Ninja Jesus is either by taijutsu or through some kind of sage art. And they figure, well, Faulkner, you're a student of that toad pervert guy. You can use sage jutsu, right? And Faulkner's just like, yeah, well, I'm not really that good at it. I mean, I could try, but it really takes a lot of time for me to knead chakra together, and, you know, I'm kind of missing an arm at this point, so, yeah, I don't think Sage Jutsu is really gonna fly. So, fortunately, though, Bruce Lee's also there, and he's just like, oh, Taijutsu, okay, that's my thing. So he just hops up right to the front lines, and he goes freaking 7th gate, Gate of Shock, and he releases his blue aura chakra coming off, well, not chakra, blue aura sweat coming off of him. Very two different apparent things there. That's the whole reason they can hurt Ninja Jesus, is because Ninja Jesus invented chakra. So Ninja Jesus is just like, oh, well, you're using this kind of blue aura coming off of you. It's not the red aura that comes off when you're using, I guess, the final gate or the death gate. So he's like, you're not even taking me seriously if you're not even using the 8th gate, just as arrogant and confident as this guy is. But, you know, yeah, you're probably right. There's no way you're going to put a dent in this guy unless you're going full throttle. Nonetheless, Bruce Lee takes a shot at him, and you get this awesome battle scene, which I will cleverly sketch out and animate for you in the most advanced software ever known to mankind, Microsoft Paint. Okay, so here we go. We have those two characters. You can clearly tell which is which. Volkner yells at him that you can't touch the staff or any of the spheres coming off of Ninja Jesus. So nonetheless, you know, Bruce Lee attacks him a couple times, you know, smacks him around, you know, whatever. And then he just decides to use his big fuck-off tiger attack, and that launches point-blank range. And Ninja Jesus is looking a little bit frightened here, but, you know, causes a big explosion at the base of the chakra tree, the tree of life, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, he's relatively unharmed, and Bruce Lee gets knocked back into the soil there, leaving Ninja Jesus to counterattack. So everyone's like, okay, well, that didn't work. That worked for nothing. So the only way to get this guy out of here, well, Bruce Lee out of there without getting him killed, is to use the magical transportation kunai technique, of course. So they throw their, you know, so Volkner throws his kunai to try to initiate the attack. Meanwhile, Bruce Lee shows up and manages to carry off his sensei to the other side of the battlefield. So they get there, and everyone's like, well, okay, I guess Taijutsu didn't work clearly, so I guess we have to figure out some way how to make Sage Jutsu work. And, you know, Bruce Lee stands up, and he's like, okay, wait, no, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. I got banged up a little bit, but it's too early to say that Taijutsu won't work. I got another Taijutsu attack that's even stronger than the 7th gate, and that, of course, would be the 8th gate. So Scarecrow and Volkner look at him, and he's just like, wow, they're kind of like a flashback of all the times, you know, Bruce Lee challenging Scarecrow to all those fights, and he's just like, you know what, I'm not bluffing here, Scarecrow. This is real right here. This is real what I'm doing. I'm going to end my days as the green beast by turning into a red beast. Now, green, the kanji in Japanese can actually be read as either youthful or the actual color green, which has two meanings here because, you know, his, you know, 5th gate form takes the green appearance, and now he's going to end this and he's going to become the red beast, which, as Ninja Jesus stated in this chapter, will mean he's going into the death gate, which means he's going to gain power insurpassable to a leader of a village. But since we've seen how the leaders of the village can fight at this point in the story, remember, we found out about this whole ninja gate thing like a while ago in the series. You know, so back then it was just like, oh, stronger than a ninja, stronger than a village leader. That's like, oh, that's a big deal. But yeah, not so much anymore. Needless to say, I don't want to say that this attack is going to finish off Ninja Jesus, because honestly, if Bruce Lee was the one to finish off Ninja Jesus once and for all, I think I would probably have to eat my tie. I mean, I like Bruce Lee. He's an awesome character. I like him way more than Bruce Lee. Yeah, I just don't see that happening. I mean, he's probably going to deal damage to him, you know, to the point where maybe he might, you know, weaken him to the point where maybe he'll break off like half of the sage powers he's acquired. But I don't think he's going to die. Now, on the other hand, Bruce Lee is definitely going to die. And if Kishimoto does not do that, if he has it like, oh, I released the 8th gate, and I'm almost at death's door, but at the last second, Shirley showed up, and he did some things, and he also revived. Also, Crocodile showed up in this chapter, too, very briefly, but he didn't really do much, so that's about it. Yeah, so next chapter, you know, that'd be pretty cool. You know, 8th gate, I've been excited for that for, like, you know, what was that, like 6 years, 7 years, ever since it got, you know, mentioned on when it was airing on TV. I remember learning about that, and just like, oh man, I can't wait to see that. Here we go, like 6, 7 years later, and we might actually get to finally see that. So hopefully, you know, Kishi doesn't screw it up too bad. Hope you enjoyed this chapter of Fondle, chapter 667. See you next time, guys. By the way, as a bonus question, if you guys can tell me why I renamed all the characters what I named them, you can win a cookie. Because some of them, you might have to think for some of them. They're pretty clever. A lot of nerdy references laid in there. Bye. I didn't take a single drink of this the entire video. That was kind of pointless.